Jeff Watson, I am the Conservative candidate, three-time incumbent MP for Essex.
So Jeff, we'll start off with economy and jobs.
Sure.
In your opinion, has Windsor made it through the recession well? And what are some of the things that your party platform proposes to try and induce more job creation?
Well, clearly voters are saying the number one issue in this region during the election are jobs and the economy, closely followed by taxes. We were near 16% unemployment at the depths of the recession, if you will, this brutal global recession that hit. And our government came in. The Harper Conservatives played a very strong role in seeing this region through that global recession. And we came in with $9 billion to help save Chrysler, GM, and stabilize the auto industry, which is the base of our economy. We then came in with the highest in Canada infrastructure stimulus, not only to renew our infrastructure, but create those immediate jobs, much needed paychecks during the downturn, and reposition the economy. And we've been investing millions to diversify the economy. And of course, we've had long, consistent support through budgets for this DRIC project, which is the biggest infrastructure project for our future. It also means long-term business investment, so that's critical.
The border. It became a bit of an election issue last week when you called out some of the other parties.
Yeah.
Do you stand by that? And in turn, at the same time, what does your party plan to do as far as the new crossing?
Well, there is no infrastructure project more important to Essex County, but to our nation. Prime Minister Harper, in 2006, when we formed a government, said there was no single infrastructure project more important to Canada than a new international crossing, this DRIC crossing between Windsor and Detroit. Even more so than the Asia-Pacific Gateway or the Atlantic Gateway, which are important to our international trade, both in Asia and Europe. But this one is the biggest. It sustains our international trade relationship, that strong binational relationship with the United States, which is multi-billion dollar, as you well know. 30,000 jobs hang in the balance for Southeast Michigan and Southwestern Ontario. Over 10,000 jobs, 12,000 jobs here for this region between the Windsor-Essex Parkway and a new crossing, construction, long-term business investment. We have a clear track record, though, of supporting this project. The only party, in terms of looking at the voting record. Budget 2006, when we created the Border and Gateways Fund. 2007, when we set aside the first specific investment for $400 million, our first down payment toward the Windsor-Essex Parkway construction. And then in 2011, the addition of the $550 million financial arrangement with the state of Michigan for their infrastructure improvements, the toll plaza, the interchange to I-75. All of those measures that we stood for. The other parties, the New Democrats, the Liberals, were against them. That's their voting record, and they're going to have to deal with that.
A lot of times platforms are made for a wide, all of Canada, obviously they have to be. In your opinion, as far as job creation goes, is the Conservative platform pretty good out of the box, or if elected, is there some stuff in there that you think may need to be tweaked for your riding?
Well, I think we're building on a record of success. So some of these measures already, the low tax plan, for example, we've been on that trajectory for 4 years already. We're going to continue that. Measures like the accelerated capital cost write-offs, which are critical for the manufacturing sector, they've been in place for 5 years. We're going to extend it 2 more to continue to catapult us forward into through this transitional period into stronger economic recovery. These are measures that are going to continue to be important. You look at our farm programming, for example. We've got 2 more years on the suite of programs for our farmers. So the agri-flexibility that's investing in our processing sector, the Sunbright Canners, the Heinzes, etc. Those measures are going to be ongoing. They're working already, and they're going to continue to work for the future. And of course, we always look at. We have our auto action plan, which was in 2008. We have funding still there for new automotive investment. So there are a lot of tools. FedDev Ontario, which was our economic development agency, there's $400 million still left in there for diversifying the economy in Southern Ontario. So we have tools in the tool chest already that can continue to be used. the new low tax plan as well. We have some new measures that are particularly going to benefit small businesses, and we think the package together can really help this region continue forward. As I said, we were at near 16% unemployment. We're down around 9.5%. There's more work to be done, but we're moving in the right direction.
Okay, we'll go to seniors.
Okay.
Do you believe Canada needs a formal framework to deal specifically with the large number of people set to retire in the next few years?
Well, obviously seniors, aging demographic, this is a critical issue. With the tumultuous economy, pension and retirement security become extremely important issues as well. We have a record, I think, that is very good with respect to seniors. We brought in everything from pension income splitting, increases to the age amount, doubling of pension tax credits. We've established a cabinet person responsible for seniors issues, a day to honor seniors as well. Measures that are taking the issue of seniors very seriously. They're broader issues, everything from their New Horizons program that helps with their community infrastructure, their social clubs, things like that. But also their own pension security. What do they have for retirement? So we have we're doubling the TIFSAs, tax-free savings accounts, which have become a useful savings tool for retirement security as well. We've tightened up rules around everything from RRSPs to RRIFs, direct benefit, direct contribution pensions. Those are things entirely in the federal jurisdiction. We've promised an increase of $300 million annually to the GIS for our poorest seniors. And as well, we're still working with the provinces, as we have been for the last year or two, on negotiating a modest enhancement of the Canada Pension Plan.
Last question. It's not a campaign question, but it's one of my favorites.
I like the Canadiens.
You can work that in.
All right.
If you could have dinner with any three people, historical, present, past, who would they be and why?
This is a great question. John A. Macdonald, the father, one of our fathers of Confederation, our first Prime Minister. I think that would be an intriguing dinner to have. Fascinating personality. I've read a lot about him. I almost feel like I have a sense of who he is. But what I'd love to hear from him is how he handled the unity question at the very foundations of our nation. Taking us from political stalemate in Canada West, working with Canada East, which is Quebec now, bringing them into Confederation together. And working. National unity was such a huge issue for him at the time. I have this tremendous heart for Quebec. The Constitution being repatriated in 1982 obviously has left a bad taste in Quebec's mouth. How do we bring the heart of our country back into it with Quebec? So I think John A. Macdonald will have a lot of insight into that. Secondly, Sir Winston Churchill. An interesting historical personality, a man for the times back through World War II. What was it like to be, at that time, really the only nation still standing against the Third Reich in critical hours, being able to motivate a people, to be able to capture the essence and substance of a people, standing in the face of that kind of tyranny. What was that like? And I think the third personality, Abraham Lincoln. I've read lots and lots about Abraham Lincoln. Talk about a man for the ages. Country being ripped asunder with civil war. He had a fractious cabinet of strong personalities, actually people who vied with him for the Republican nomination, and yet he held this cabinet together with all the potential for fractures at a time when his nation was being fractured and brother was shooting brother. And he rose to the occasion. A man who failed at everything he ever did except being the President of the United States. What does it take to have that kind of leadership? Three powerful leaders in Western history, if you will. I think they'd all be fascinating personalities to actually talk with in person.